All right, check, check, check. Hello, everybody. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we are here for our regular Tuesday night broadcast. And got some information for you guys tonight. I got some different things going on. It's not a real busy night out there. As you can see, one of the screens I had up for you guys has already duplicated, so there you go. What it is these guys will be streaming something that I don't have, and then they'll run out of streaming something to stream, so they'll start streaming somebody else that I already have, and that's what ends up happening. But this is where the protest was going on. I believe everybody's pretty much left. Again, we've been talking night after night about these protests and how they've just been protests, which is a good thing. I think people should be allowed to protest. I kind of question what they're protesting because it's anti-law and order protesting basically. They don't want to enforce immigration laws. They don't want to send in more cops to enforce laws. They don't want to arrest people and get them off the streets. So I don't know what to call it other than pro-criminality, anti-police. I don't know what these things are exactly. In Chicago, which is the one we're looking at there in the center left, in Chicago, apparently what's going on is they're upset that they're talking about sending in federal assistance to help with the crime rate, which is out of control right now. And they don't want the law and order. So again, they're anti-law and order is the best I can describe it. If you guys can think of something better, I don't know. All right, and we are still watching our storm leaving. This is in the large window there is radar Omega, and it is completely out of radar range pretty much at this point. Not a whole lot to talk about in the tropics, however. We are going to talk about the fact that this upper storm is going to wash out and join with the other storm, it looks like, as they both go extratropical. So, an interesting development. We're going to see what happens. The conditions are not favorable up here right now, so that's why we're not getting any major hurricanes right now up here. And we don't really have anything else to consider down here right now. As far as severe weather, there is none. We have no severe weather warnings right now in the United States. I have one winter warning. I got a freeze warning. Where the hell is that? Look at that. We got a freeze warning, guys. There you go. We got a freeze warning for northern Coos and southern Coos counties. You'd think they would have just said Coos County. Frost and freeze conditions will kill your crops. That's how low we are on things to talk about weather-wise. There is nothing going on. There's just nothing. And let's see here. We've got 6 hydro warnings, and these are flood warnings. And there's still a few lingering flood warnings in, well, they're all up in Canada. Close coastal flood warnings. Yeah, so there's nothing, guys. It's dead in the water here. There is really nothing to talk about here. So let's see what else we got going on. Hey, Deploribus. Hey, Bill. How you doing? Good evening. There you go. All right. Well, yeah, it's probably. I don't know. Well, Henry, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You did not need to do that. Maybe I'll buy a set of fuzzy dice for the for this control room here. I don't know. No, I appreciate it though. The money will go 100% back into studio equipment. I can guarantee you that. Thank you very much for that, Henry. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mid 60s in Fort Smith. Well, there you go. We are upper 70s here, right around 80 right now, and our low tonight's going to come down to about 76. Um, all right, so I'm sitting here looking at it. We've got a couple of things I want to talk about tonight, but I'm not going to go in depth on some of them. We've got a government shutdown looming. We've got about 2 hours and 51 minutes, and then the government's going to shut down. What does that mean to you? Probably not much of anything. If you're going to a federal park, it might close. Some of the federal parks, they'll shutter the federal parks just to be pricks. I don't know what's going to happen exactly. I was due to be in Washington, D.C. During one of the last shutdowns, and we were very concerned because some of the things that we wanted to do might close when the government shuts down, and ended up nothing closed. The Smithsonian stayed open, all the Smithsonians, the monuments stayed open. They made a big deal about they had to close down some bathrooms or something. I'm like, it's DC, they'll just piss wherever, it doesn't matter. That's a joke. All right, I'm sorry, that was bad humor. Anyway, we're kind of fixing that problem right now. Hey, Junior. All right, and so that's pretty much that. The government shutdown, what does it mean? Well, it means that they have to stop non-essential services. Services that are what they call discretionary expenditures. And a lot of times your parks and recreation will fill in that category. But I'll tell you some things that don't fit in that category. Social Security checks will go out. If the government's paychecks for the federal workers do not go out on time, they will still go out. They'll still get their full pay. It's actually a paid vacation for the federal workers that don't go to work. Who loses in a government shutdown? Nobody, really. All the workers that are home get paid for a free vacation. They just have to wait a few weeks for the money. All the regular workers that work for all the alphabet agencies and the military and all that, they still report to work as normal tomorrow. The people that clean the White House will still be there tomorrow to clean the White House. It's kind of stupid, really. What they normally would do in years past was the Democrats would be in power and the Republicans would cause the shutdown. That's usually how it used to happen, because the Republicans are the ones, when anyone is concerned about how much money we're spending, it's the Republicans. But they're not always concerned either, and I'm not happy with their level of concern either, but let's leave that for another show. What basically happens is the Democrats, they want to spend wildly. The Republicans say, no, we're not spending all that money, and we go into a government shutdown. What's going on right now is a very different situation than what normally goes on. What's going on right now is the Democrats are holding out because they're saying we are not going to approve the CR, the continuing resolution, unless there is provision in there to keep Obamacare and to keep several other large leftist programs that are going on out there. They're not going to budge. They say they're not going to budge. Well, the right, they've got a clean CR. They're sitting on it. It's signed. They're ready to go. So now they can spend the next however many days doing what the Democrats used to do. Sit back and just make the Democrats look bad now, because they're the ones causing the shutdown. The Republicans are all in unison. They want to pass a CR. They want to get the government back open. Look, we're trying. We're doing. They're the ones obstructing, and that's what they're going to say, and they're going to be right. You know, we all know there's a lot of history on both sides, but the bottom line here is it's normally the other way around. It's normally the Democrats spending money and the Republicans trying to pull back on the reins. This time, it's the Republicans trying to spend a normal amount of money while the Democrats are trying to bend them over and make them spend more money. So I guess it's kind of the same thing, but the roles are reversed. Anyway, so what's basically going on? And that, I don't think so. There might be a slowdown at NASA, but I doubt it. These things are pretty short term. NASA's funding was all secured years ago. I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about. They may suspend some operations at NASA, but that hasn't been my experience in the past. Yeah, that's the other big one, is healthcare for illegals. When I said keep Obamacare, that's what I meant, because they've got it now to where all the illegals qualify for Obamacare, and that's pretty much what they're doing. They want to provide illegals with health care, and the Republicans are saying, hey, look, if the Democrats provide these illegals, people that came here illegally, people that came here without going through the due process, if we just give them free health care, more are going to come, and the ones that are here are going to fight harder to stay. We need to fight that the other way. We need to say, look, there's not a good reason to come here. Don't come here. And this is how we get the border situation back under control. We let in decades worth of illegals in 4 years. It's going to take more than 8 or 12 years to work our way out of this hole as far as illegal immigrants. Yeah, they I'm sure they got auto deposit since they're in space, but I'm just guessing. I don't know. Government shutdown, 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 27 seconds. Guys, it's not like, it would be funny if they actually like shut off the lights in the Capitol building, or maybe like one of the wings of the White House or something. You know, right at midnight, just start shutting all the lights off in all the buildings. That would be hilarious. It'd be very symbolic. Yeah, Junior, what Junior's saying is they're trying to give free health care. There's a workaround right now where many illegals get free health care. And the thing is, I don't have health insurance. Junior doesn't have health insurance. How is it possible in this country that I was born here? I've retired from the fire service here. I mean, I don't know. How can someone like me at 56 years old have no health insurance? You know? But to put health insurance on me right now by myself on a personal plan, it's what I make. It's what I make. I'm going to be honest. It's almost what I make. It would be like literally spending 80% of my salary on insurance. It's like literally $900 a month. And that's, you know, that's 2/3 of my operating budget right there. I mean, I couldn't do that. I operate on a shoestring. No, air traffic controllers, no, sir. They are considered essential services. Anything involving airlines, aircraft, or air travel would be considered essential services. Hold on. Let's get a little list going here. Let's see if ChatGPT is going to help me out tonight. It's all about the prompt. I spend a little extra time on my prompts because if you put the right prompt in, you're more likely going to get the response that you want. ChatGPT should be considered essential, although it leans very far left. I'm leaning more and more on Grok. I've been training Grok to write in my style and stuff, and so hopefully that will continue to get better. This ChatGPT's gotten so slow. It's sitting here. It's hung up. Um, yeah, the Park Service is considered non-essential, and it would be affected. Okay, so here we go. 30 federal government operations that are not affected by the shutdown. These are considered essential services. Military operations, border security, customs, border protection. All Border Patrol employees remain on duty. TSA, airport security screening. All normal air traffic security screening continues. Air traffic control, controllers and safety operators always remain active. FBI operations will continue. CIA and NSA intelligence operations all will continue. Secret Service protection, U.S. Marshal Service, federal prisons, U.S. Code. Yeah, well, they have to keep the prison open because what are they going to do? Just throw a bunch of food in there and say, we'll be back in a week. Public safety functions, border inspections or food and agriculture, USDA, medical care and veterinary affairs hospitals and clinics will remain open. Medicare benefits, payments will continue to beneficiaries. Social Security benefits, checks will go out. Supplemental Security Income, SSI, payments will continue. Postal Service, normal, because it's considered self-funded, even though they have to get bailed out every frickin' year. U.S. Treasury bond sales and debt payments, maintain financial obligations, all remains normal. Criminal prosecutions in federal courts, all urgent or ongoing cases will continue. Meaning that if there's a big case, they may delay it a few days, but if it's already in progress, they're going to continue with it. Essential healthcare research, airline safety inspections by the FAA, food stamps, SNAP benefits, WIC benefits, U.S. Capitol Police and federal building security, border agriculture inspections, weather forecasting and warnings from NOAA and the National Weather Service Office and the National Hurricane Center, essential utility oversight, energy grid and nuclear regulatory functions do continue, and embassy, consulate protection and critical deployment of staff continues. So the consulates may scale down a little bit, but they do pretty much continue their function. The DMV is not a federal function. That would be a state function or a local function, so it would not be affected. This is just federal. It has nothing to do with the state of wherever you live or the county of wherever you live. Okay, 30 services typically suspended or scaled back during a government shutdown. These I'm about to list are all things that may be shut down, are shut down, or may be scaled back to some degree. National parks and monuments, many close, others operate with a skeleton crew, and yet others operate with the bathrooms locked. But you can still go and see the monument. Smithsonian museums and the National Zoo sometimes close. The last time it happened, they did not close. So I don't know. Passport applications and renewals go on a delay. Visa processing for immigrants slows significantly. Small Business Administration loans processing stops or slows down significantly. IRS taxpayer services, limited audits and delays in refunds may occur as well. Housing and urban development programs, many of their grants and loan programs all become suspended until the government opens back up because they're giving out money. EPA inspections, any environmental inspections considered non-emergency are not done. OSHA workplace inspections, if they're considered non-critical, then they'll reduce those as well. NASA projects. It says most research and education projects that are not involved with current space missions will be paused at NASA. However, mission critical operations like the ISS and any current space missions will continue as normal, with both ground support and, of course, the guys up there. National Science Foundation research, any non-critical grants will be paused. Head Start program, in some locations it will close if it's not pre-funded. Federal worker pay, non-essential staff is furloughed, but they get paid for it and they don't have to work it. It's like a free vacation. If I was a federal worker, I would want to shut down, man, and I'd plan something really nice to do that week. Census Bureau surveys and research, Bureau of Economic Analysis and Economic Data releases. This could delay some key data reports. Bureau of Economic Analysis and Economic Data releases may slow down. National Archive and record facilities will be closed to the public. U.S. Geological Survey will pause all non-emergency and non-ongoing research. Federal Student Loan Services, customer service disruptions. Educational program grants will be suspended until funding returns. Environmental cleanup projects or EPA Superfund sites. If it's non-urgent, it will be paused. Veterans benefits processing for new claims will be delayed. Federal training programs for workers suspended. Immigration court hearings for non-detention cases postponed. Civil lawsuits in federal court, if they're not urgent, they're delayed. Government websites and hotlines, some shut down, others go dark, others remain unupdated. Federal contract work. Many contracts will be paused, halting construction and research projects until funding starts back up. So there you go. If you think about it, everything I just listed in that second list, it's all a bunch of wasted bullshit anyway. I mean, most of that stuff in there, most of it is all just government waste. The stuff I listed in the first list, there's a little more important stuff up there, but if you look at this, do you know what happened last time the government shut down? Nothing. Everybody makes a big deal about it. We were joking around on the show tonight about how, everybody's going to have their big countdown clocks up and they're going to have special graphics. Government shutdown in 2 hours. And we've been seeing it on here. Government shutdown in 2 hours. Yeah, it is. It's going to shut down. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you guys. Doesn't mean a thing. All right, we did that one already. Not feeling well tonight, guys. I don't know why. I've had 3 or 4 good days here where it's getting a little better each day, but I'm not feeling well tonight. I felt good at work. Came home, ate dinner, and I don't feel that good. The good news is my cat, Shadow Lynn, that disappeared for 4 days, she's right outside. She's doing good. She's still a little congested. I think she's dealing with a sinus infection, but she has survived it. She's through the worst of it, and so that's the good news there. And she's staying close to home. Hey, Red. Deploribus, I believe they're issued by the District of Columbia, but not the federal government. DC's like Puerto Rico. It operates like a state, even though it's not technically a state. So I do believe you would get a DC driver's license, but it would not be a federal driver's license. It would just be a DC driver's license. I don't know. I think that's how it works. Just trust me on this. This is not a big deal. It's just not. I try to tell everybody I run into, don't worry about this stupid government shutdown. It's not a big deal. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. What is this? Middle East Eye.
Think you know Harbor Freight?
Shut up.
Think again.
I said shut up. In the Mediterranean Sea, the global Sumud flotilla has entered high alert situation as it approaches within 10 nautical miles of the designated high-risk zone off Gaza's coast. Organizers say all boats are maintaining contact and observing heightened security measures. What the hell is this all about? Why would they not put more of a damn description in there? All right, I'm going to put it in the center one up there. You can tell me. It looks like a whole bunch of live cameras. Let me stretch this thing out. Just give me a second here to make sure we're fully stretched out here. Here we go. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're all on boats. What is a Sumud flotilla? I mean, I know about a lot of things, but I when it comes to foreign stuff, I'm admitting it. I don't know a lot about it. Let's see what this is all about. There is audio on it. Let's see, that's browser 3.
They haven't started yet.
There's 2 lawyers fighting in there.
Well, that's the audio. They have almost 6,000 simultaneous viewers right now. So I don't know. I have no idea. Is this Greta Thunberg again? Oh my God! Tell me it ain't so. Now I gotta find that audio. Oh boy. Yeah, well, Trump said if they shut down and all these people go home, he may ask for a lot of them to just stay there and not come back. So this could get a little crazy. I don't know. All right, so here we go. The global Sumud flotilla, the GSF, is a civil society-led maritime initiative launched in 2025, aiming to break Israel's naval blockade of Gaza, deliver humanitarian aid, and open a people-led corridor. You know what sucks about this? They'll let you bring aid right in there. You just have to call them and coordinate it. The whole thing's fucking stupid. This is all trying to just make Israel look bad, is what it is. Israel would love to let you help these people. They have not blockaded anything. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the flotilla consists of over 50 vessels of various sizes departing from multiple ports in the Mediterranean. It includes activists, humanitarian workers, doctors, lawyers, seafarers, artists, and public figures from about 44 countries. Some of the organizing groups include the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, Global Movement of Gaza, Maghreb Sumud Flotilla, and the Sumud Nasatra, whatever. Nasantra. These groups have combined prior experience in maritime solidarity missions and activism around Gaza. The flotillas reported drone attacks on several boats, including the Portuguese flagged Familia Madeira, while docked or in transit. Activists claim communications jamming, at least 13 explosions, and objects dropped near at least 10 boats, as well as unidentified drone flights overhead. Italy and Spain have deployed naval ships to escort the flotilla through portions of the journey, citing humanitarian protection. Greece has pledged safe sailing through their waters. As of this report, the flotilla was 399 nautical miles away from Gaza. The flotilla is entering a so-called yellow zone in international waters, considered higher risk for interception or attack. One vessel, the family boat, suffered a catastrophic engine failure and was stranded off Crete, and it has been removed from the flotilla. Some vessels failed technical inspections, and participants have been reshuffled among the ships to maintain the mission. Greta Thunberg, initially a predominant figure in the flotilla, was quietly removed from its leadership committee and internal disputes and communication challenges. She is a crank. I'm telling you what, nobody wants to deal with that bitch, okay? I'm just telling you, she's a crank. I could just imagine what it would be like working with her. What a crank. All right, let me make sure I can get this on here. Make sure it's playing. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna need to work with the audio for a second. Okay, so anyway, I'm using this. I'm using Streamlabs, and it just doesn't do things like it doesn't do audio. It does it in a better way, if that makes sense, but yet it still is not. It's not intuitive. Let's just put it that way. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Give me just a second. If I can't figure it out in just a minute or two, I'm going to move on. Oh, well, there's a thought. Here we go. I'll be damned. I figured it out. Hold on. Oh my God. I wish I knew why this thing kept going full screen like that. It's driving me nuts. All right. So anyway, about 2 or 3 years ago, Greta Thunberg was involved in this. Well, I don't know. It was a protest somewhere, and she was all heavily involved in it. And so I just had to be a total smartass about it because I'm just funny that way. Okay, so there we go. Now it's playing over here somewhere. Oh, that's just, what is wrong with this thing? That just sucks. try. The bad part is I have to figure out how to use this thing eventually. That really sucks. That really sucks. God, I hate shit like this because I'm right in the middle of a fucking broadcast. You would think it would be right here. You know, I've got all these inputs and all these outputs, and it's not here. It's just ridiculous. Where is it? How do you add new inputs? It's like, this is stupid. I'm really aggravated. I'm showing like 25 inputs here, and all of them are inactive. My God, this is stupid. I don't know. I give up. I'm about to give up on the whole thing. What a ridiculous mess. Oh well. It's right there, and I can't route the audio. I don't understand where the audio would even come in. Wow, this is fucking stupid. Who come up with this? Ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, I give up. I'm done. This freaking program is garbage. Oh well, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck.
No what?
There it is. I figured it out. All right, so here it is, guys. You waited 20 minutes for it. It better be good. What I did, I was at work, and Greta Thunberg she was doing this rally, and it's like all the people at the rally were like paid protesters, and they didn't know what to say, and it was really stupid. And so we were screwing around with the mics at work, And one of the guys says, "Here, do that in a world voice, guy." And so I started, "In a world," and I started doing it. And he got the voice on this thing where it sounded really good. This is my voice, by the way. This is my voice. And this was a trailer. We have played this on the radio 5 or 6 different times. Every time we talk about Greta Thunberg. And anytime we talk about her, we play this. Let me know if you hear it okay.
In a world where one little girl stands in the way of disaster.
No more exploitation of people and nature and the planet. No more exploitation.
Where everyone is the problem, she's the solution.
No more blah, blah, blah. We're sick and tired of it, and we're gonna make the change, whether they like it or not.
She single-handedly plans to save the planet.
This will keep on going for too long.
The power of one little girl.
I'm not gonna let them get away anymore. We're not.
In this time of disaster, a beacon stands alone.
Because who are we? And what are we gonna do? Climate justice, that's right.
Greta Thunberg stars in Not With My Planet You Don't.
What do we want? What do we want it?
Rated R starts Friday at select locations. Starts Saturday everywhere.
That's probably one of the funnier bits I've ever made. That is by far one of the funnier bits I've ever made. Anyway. She's gonna save the world. Okay, well, at least I got that figured out now, and I can actually see. I got my desktop levels set now, so now I can play desktop audio. I don't know. It's one thing I didn't have figured out or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not with it tonight. Back to Venice first thing in the morning again. Greta the galley wench. She's a troll. I don't know that thing. She's something else. What really needs to happen is we need to buy her a nice dress and somebody needs to take her on a date. I mean, that's what really needs to happen. Show her a good time, maybe a little something later on. She'd be much better. I'm telling you, she would be better if she quit hanging out with other people, hang out with some normal people, have a nice night, hang out for a while. That's what she needs. So these are like hunger terrorists? Am I getting this right? They're hunger terrorists. They're terrorizing people with food. All right, so there we go. We've got our protest, which is pretty much over. Our other protesting, which is pretty much over. And idiots in a flotilla in the middle of the night. I don't. What? It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, no problem. That's okay, you guys. All right, so let's talk about seismic stuff. Here we go. Here's the seismic monitor. The seismic monitor. Oh, I don't know. But this is it. And you can see there's a big one over here. Look at this. Big ol' ass one. Was that 6.9? 6.9 in the Philippines. And the Bali region of Indonesia, a 6. And some more up there where we have that swarm constantly going on. More up there. And did we get anything off of Oregon today? No. Oregon quieted down a little bit. Just a little small one there in Nevada. 3.3 in New Mexico. Mona Passage, that's down in the Caribbean. Look at that. That's north of San Juan. And we've been getting them down there from time to time. They're usually not that big. And that's it, dude. There's not a whole lot. There's northern Chile, another one down there, and a few down here in the, well, down in that island region down there. Let's just put it that way. So there you go. That's your seismic. Not a whole lot going on. Spaceweather.com. The storm is subsiding, but it's not over yet. The Russell-McPherson effect, which is that energy swapping effect that happens a couple times a year. It's still active, linking the magnetic field of the sun and the earth. It's producing an ongoing G1, G2 class geomagnetic storm. High latitude auroras remain likely overnight tonight. They're a little less intense than the auroras last night, but still gorgeous around the Arctic Circle. And you can see there in the picture there on your screen, this was the G3 last night. It erupted, sparking a display of northern lights visible as far south as New Mexico in the United States. It felt like we were flying right through the auroras, reported one of the pilots in Matt Malnick, who snapped this picture from the cockpit of a Dreamliner cruising 39,000 feet over Hudson Bay. Look at that. They saw so many different colors, reds, purples, greens, and even blue aurora. What an amazing sight to see. And this down here, this was not an aurora. This is Steve, a bright ribbon of light caused by hot plasma currents in the upper atmosphere. But that's called Steve. That's not an aurora. And sometimes you'll see a Steve and aurora together. The G3, these things come in, there's your G1. This is a G1 aurora, kind of give you an idea. It causes minor fluctuations on power grids, minor impacts on satellite operations, and it does affect some migratory animals in slight ways. And the auroras are generally only visible in the higher latitudes. And oh crap, I lost it. I lost my screen. Hold on, I don't care. Let me just get it back here. Do they have the bigger explainer for this? I could have swore they had an explainer. Let me find that real quick, and just give me a second here, and I'll find that. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, I hope you guys can read this. Let me see. Okay, yeah, here we go. I think you guys can read this. These are your scales. I just read you what a G1, a G2, high latitude meaning up in Canada, up in the northern hemispheres, or way down in the southern, way up. That's the high latitude. Systems may experience voltage alarms. Long duration storms may cause transformer damage. Corrective actions, you know, there's really, again, G2s are moderate. It does cause some interference to HF radio, and it can fade out your HF propagation pretty good. And when you get a G2, you can see auroras as far south as, say, New York or Idaho. A G3 is considered strong. power systems, voltage corrections may be required, false alarms triggered, and some protection devices. False alarms may be triggered on some of the protection devices. Surface charging may occur on satellite components. Drag may increase on low Earth orbit satellites, and corrections may be needed in orientation. Intermittent satellite navigation, low frequency radio navigation problems may occur. HF radio may be intermittent, and auroras have been seen as low as Illinois and Oregon, typically about 50 degrees. Severe G4 class storms. Possible widespread voltage control problems in some protective systems will mistakenly trip out key assets from the grid. This will cause instability. May experience surface changing and tracking problems with spacecraft operations, and corrections may be needed. Other systems include induced pipeline current effect, preventative measures. Anytime you have railroad tracks, pipelines, any long metal things that are out exposed like that, they can collect this energy up. Hey Sean, what's up, man? Yeah, Dolly Parton's under the weather. We don't know how bad it is, but she did cancel a few of her concerts. Yeah. Well, Junior, I was hoping you'd take her on a date. I'd do anything for the right price. All right, power systems, widespread voltage control problems. This is for G5s. G5s can actually cause widespread power outages. Lots of damage, and the damage may take replacement and things like that, and so a lot can happen. May experience extensive surface charging, problems with orientation on spacecraft, and the same thing. We can, anytime you have any long tracks or wires or power lines, it will collect this energy up, and it can cause all kinds of problems, including fatal shocks. Low frequency radio navigation can be out for hours, and auroras can be seen as far south as Florida and southern Texas, about 40 degrees north. So there you go. That is what your G1 through G5. So if you're in Florida like me, we had a brief G5 that night, and we saw the aurora down here in South Florida. We saw the aurora. I actually have a video up about it. If you go to my channel and search aurora, you'll see we actually clipped it out. Carlotta and I were live here in the studio, and we noticed it on our security cameras while we were talking about it on the air, and that was pretty cool. Auroras have always been a bucket list thing for me, but I have to admit I'm at the point now where I don't know if I've seen them or not. I know I've seen them, but I saw them from here and they weren't that impressive, and I kind of still want to see more. So hopefully I can see. I would like to go and see them up north where you can get a really good look at them, way up north. Here we go. It's right here. This is one of my videos. You guys can go watch it at your leisure. Florida, just last weekend, and I took the time to go through and get the aurora pictures off of our security cameras.
But this does not mean, and this goes for all of us, that our path to this auditorium on this day was a straight line, or that the conditions of the formations we lead are where we want them to be.
You can see it.
You love your country, and we love this uniform, which is why we must do better.
What am I hearing?
Mouths what we see with our eyes.
What is that? Hold on. Damn it. I've got some errant audio somewhere on my desktop, and I don't know where it's coming from. I really hate that. You have no idea. Normally the screen shows you
moving from right.
a little speaker, you know, when it's the one that's playing. But I don't see that here tonight on any of my browsers. Damn it.
As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit.
That's Pete Hegseth from yesterday's or earlier today, from his speech earlier today. Could that be up here somewhere? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, what am I gonna do? God damn it. You have no idea how pissed off this makes me. Son of a bitch.
Any other American citizen.
And he's still talking. I've closed almost everything I can close. Son of a bitch.
Have done on. It's the ultimate.
To left in the red aurora that you can see even over the street. Ian from Starship Adventures, and we had a very rare occurrence here in the tropics in South Florida just last weekend, and I took the time to go through and
get the aurora pictures off of our security camera system, our tower cam specifically, that was looking north that night. And I was actually able to take that video and speed it up 10 times. And here's the result. You can see it. You can actually see pillars moving from right to left in the red aurora that you can see even over the street lights. You can see it. I'm sure the view was even nicer than this if you were out in the dark. What an amazing occurrence. Only the third time since 1859 that auroras have been seen in South Florida. That's it, guys. I'll see you on the next adventure. This is Ian, Starship Adventures. Well, there you go. And that was I can remember how cool that was, that we were actually able to see them that night. And I did walk down the street to try to get away from the street lights, and you could definitely see it. It was naked eye. I took some pictures that didn't get anything, but my low-lux security camera up on my tower captured it. And it was very red, very, very red. Very unusual to have auroras this far south. Okay, let me get back to my chat room now that I've screwed everything up here. All right. All right, so everything's showing good here. I think I finally got that desktop audio thing figured out. I never really figured out where that sound was coming from. I guess we'll just not worry about that. How about that? It's quit now. Yeah, pissed off's better than being pissed on. That's true. Yeah, it's just I get so many things going on this computer that something will begin to autoplay in the background, and it screws everything up, and I can't find it. I won't be able to find whatever it is. Well, there's your protest there. I think there's about 15 people left. That's the one there in Portland, upper left corner there, under the Sight and Sounds, where it says Sights and Sounds. Right underneath that, you can see about 20 or so people there. That's the last of that protest. And the multi-screen in the middle up there, that's, believe it or not, that's Greta Thunberg's, I don't know, flotilla? Hunger strike flotilla? I don't know what it is anyway. And then the upper right up there is just different scenes from today. And then the lower left, or the center left, right above me here, that is other protest views as well. And they've all pretty much gone home. I don't see anything going on anymore. So I think the protesting for tonight is just about done. Yeah, Junior, you got to catch them. Sometimes they don't hang out for more than a few minutes. Sometimes they hang out a long time. It all just it all just depends. All right, so there you go, guys. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. I'm gonna hang out just a little while longer. I do have to get up very early in the morning, so I am planning on heading out here in a little while. Let's see here. All right. Let's do check weather here. I do have a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's up in Canada. Yes, I purposely mispronounced that. There it is, right there. It's just southwest of Saskatoon and Warman, and it's moving from south to north. And they, like I said, they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this area. Let's see if I have a better radar. Yeah, we got radar. Yeah, it's a strong little storm. Let's put the split up and see what it looks like. That's reflective on the left, radial velocity on the right. I'm not seeing much in the way of any rotation or anything. Let me try a different radar site. That is the best radar site, but I just don't think there's any rotation or anything. I think that's all we're looking at right there. It's just the reflective. So yeah, not a big deal. Just some severe thunderstorms up there, and they're gonna miss Saskatoon anyway. They're gonna head on up here towards Radisson and north of Battleford. They're heading up towards Battleford. There you go. I don't think we have anybody up in the Saskatchewan province of Canada. But there you go. There's where it is. There is no other severe weather anywhere in the country right now. I do have those two counties with a freeze warning, and I've got a few hydro warnings. There's really nothing else going on. It's a very, very slow night weather-wise. You can see the remnants of that storm as it pulls away. All right, and there's nothing in the tropics. The models are not picking up Genesis on anything, so there's really nothing really to show you over there. It is what it is. I am going to be going up to, I have scheduled to go to my cabin now. I'm leaving on the 31st on Friday, and I will be at the Atlanta Ham Fest on Saturday. And I'll be there with Heath from the chat room. and we are going to do that whole place, and I'm going to be doing a lot of it. I'm going to be doing some of it live. I'm also going to be taking some footage that I'm going to make into some videos for later. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. And then I'm going to be up at my cabin for a week by myself. I've got some work to do on the cabin, and I've got some things I need to do up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to take you guys on adventures every day. We're going to go do POTA, Parks on the Air. It's a radio thing. I'm going to show you guys all kinds of really cool parks and some neat towns and stuff up there. I'm even probably going to do some parking and do some walking tours and things. It'll be pretty fun. It'll be great for me. It'll get me out of town for a week. We will have a very weird schedule that week. I don't know if we're going to have these shows during the week of the November 1st through November 10th. There's a chance that we will not have the Sights and Sound shows at night, but instead we will be having regular daily adventure shows during the day. So there will be continuous broadcasting. I just don't know exactly what form it's going to take. I can't do this particular broadcast up there because this takes fiber optic. It takes a very, very, very high speed internet in order to bring in 5 or 10 different things and then send them right back out again in high def. And so if you have any kind of challenged internet connection at all, you're not really able to do what you see us doing here with the Sights and Sounds of Earth. So I may still come on in the evening just for an hour and see what's going on or whatever. We'll figure all that out when we get to there. But that's about a month away. It's 9:30 now, and I'm leaving on 10:31. So it's 1 month away. But I will be going up there, and we will be doing the Ham Fest. And then I'm going to spend a week up there doing POTA. I'm even bringing the money with me to buy a radio while I'm up there to do POTA with. I've already got the everything else I need. But I'm going to buy a good radio up there, and I'm going to be doing all kinds of POTA. It'll be a lot of fun. Heath's going to hang out some with me for a few days here and there, and we'll go do that kind of stuff as well. All right, guys, last call in the chat room. Anything else that you would like me to discuss, cover, or talk about tonight, please put it in the chat room right now, because I'm going to be going here pretty soon. I'm very tired tonight, and I got to get up very early in the morning. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll probably be doing the whole 2 or 2.5 hours. But I'm definitely going to do a live stream. I don't know what the internet's going to be like. We've done these in the past, and the internet checks out great until everybody gets there, and then there's complete saturation, unfortunately. Drink over, that's fine. Knock the drink over. Alright. I figured there's a bunch of them out there, but I figured I'd bring in Shadow Lynn. She's the one I thought I lost. She disappeared for 4 days. She was very sick. Cats do that. When they get sick, they go off to die. And then if they don't die, they come back. I've had cats go off for 12 days and come back emaciated. And I have to nurse him back to frickin' health. Oh, that's cool. The Disneyland Hotel in Anaheim. Yeah, I know. I could tell you're sick, baby girl. She had a bad cold or a sinus infection or something. And she's not necessarily prone to those. I don't know her to be getting too sick like that. But some of her other ones, I think, that might be related to her. They all kind of showed up here about the same time. All the rest of them are small. She's a big cat. She's huge. I bet she weighed, I think she's lost 3 or 4 pounds now. but she weighed probably 20 pounds. Big, huge cat. Yeah, I love the ham fests. I haven't been to that many of them. I've been to a few little ones, but no big ones. This will be my first really big one that I'm going to. I've covered here in the studio other people doing them live, but I've never actually gone and done one of the really big ones live myself yet. So this will be kind of cool. It'll be fun, and I'm going to buy a radio. I'm bringing money to buy a radio too. That's always fun. It's one thing when you go to these and you really don't need anything or you don't have any money for anything. I'm actually going there with the purpose of buying something, so that's kind of cool. Hopefully I can get me a nice HF radio that I can do POTA with. All right, anything else? Yeah, that was the Secretary of War's speech today. It was something else. It was a good speech. Look, I can even honestly say to a certain degree I support LGBTQIA2S+ because I believe in freedom and I'm a libertarian. I believe that you should be able to do anything you want as long as it doesn't affect me. However, that doesn't include the military. The military has to be big, gruff, like-minded men that can go fight wars and kill people so that we don't have to. Look, we fight them there, we fight them here. I want our military ready so that when something happens, they can go take care of it. And the problem was, when you look at how is it fair to give a woman standards that are half what a man's standards are? You know, when they drag a dummy on the ground to see how far you can drag it, a woman only has to drag one that's half the weight of the one that the man has to drag. Why is that? She has to carry the same gun. She has to carry all the same equipment. She has to be able to run just as far. She has to be able to beat up just as many badass big people. She has to be able to use all of her weapons. She has to be able to carry this big, huge gun with these big, full magazines of bullets that weigh 100 pounds. In many cases, some of these people that are trying out for these jobs, they weigh 115 pounds and they're going to wear 95 pounds worth of gear. I mean, how's it even possible? And so what they're saying is, look, we're not adverse to women being in the military. In fact, half the jobs in the military could easily be held by women. That's fine. All we're saying is our actual combat troops, if you want to join and you're a woman and you want to join and get in the combat troop, that's fine. We'll let you. We'll let you. But by God, you got to lift the same weight. You got to drag the same weight. You got to carry the same weight. You got to swim the same distance. That's all I'm saying. I think everybody, every color, every sex, whether you believe there's 2 or 97, anybody that wants to be in the military has to meet the minimum standards. And then you can join. I don't care what's between your legs. I really don't care. I don't think they care. What I do care, I don't care how women, I don't know if women can fight. I've never had a problem with that. If a woman passes through the training, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and she's cleared to go to battle, I'm going with her, we're fighting it. It's good. But I don't believe in double standards. I don't believe that if you're, well, okay, you're a woman, so you only have to drag a 75-pound dummy. What if I go down? I'm her partner. She has to drag me. That's the problem I have. When you lower the standards down to include people, you end up with liabilities in there. You end up with people in there, men and women, that can't do the job. They lowered the overall standards, so they got men in there, smaller men, men that can't lift as much, men that can't drag as much. I have the same problem with that. I don't care what race they are. I don't care what size, what height, what everything. They have to pass the minimum standards requirements. That's it. You have to run that 2 miles in so many minutes. You have to lift that, you have to drag that, you have to move that. That's what's important. All this other bullshit has no place in the military. If you want to explore your sexuality and you want to rearrange some shit, you want to cut your junk off, you want to do some... What has that got to do with our military? Leave the military and go live whatever life you want to live. If you want to be a 2S cis dickless thingy dingy, do it. I don't care. Just don't try to do it in my military. That military that has to protect me and my family from this freaking world. That's all I'm saying. We shouldn't have male generals walking around in skirts. What is that? What message does that give to other armies around the world? They're laughing at us. They're laughing at us. And they should. We've got male generals that decided, oh, today I'm going to put some fake boobs underneath my new uniform that I just checked out. What? Look, that's just got to stop. We don't have time for that in the military. What we need is a bunch of big type A men and anyone else who qualifies to go and learn how to fight and fight. That's what we need. And I'm sorry if this offends anybody. You know, it's yeah, the Carrington event, I believe, 1859. It was seen by an observer, an astronomer called Carrington, I'm pretty sure. Yes, the Hegseth speech, I thought it was really good. It had a little flavor of George S. Patton there for a few minutes. Yeah, again, I'm all for it. If you're 20, if you're 18, and you decide you want to have the laparoscopy surgery, go. You're not going to be happy, but go. If you want to add addictomy and you want to do the whole butterfly split and sply, go ahead. You're not going to be happy. No one ever is. It never works right. But if you want to, go ahead. But why does that have to involve the military? Why does that have to involve taxpayer money? Why does that have to involve time and service and benefits and tenure and things like that? It shouldn't involve any of that. You leave the military, you leave government service, you go have whatever's stuck wherever you want it, have it sewed right on there, and then you're fine, you're good. But it has nothing to do with the military. I don't know why people got to join the military and then suddenly, oh, hey, by the way, I'm a girl now, and I'm 2S, and I'm a wolf on Wednesdays, and yeah, I'm sissing this and popping that, and why does that have to involve the military? The military needs to be very simple and very straightforward. Good night, Victor. Henry, I don't know. This thing with Russia's got me a little concerned. This Putin is off the chain. And I don't know. It didn't, it's not working out too well with him. I don't know. This was kind of a pep rally today. Well, now, I'm not saying we should feed into their delusion. I'm telling them to go do what they want with whoever they want. I'm not going to regulate their delusion. I just don't want them in my military or around my military or even hanging around my military because they need to be ready to fight. And that leads to it. If you're not sure about your gender and you're thinking about lopping this off and cutting that out and screwing this on and making a hole there, if you're thinking about all that, maybe you're not squared away enough to go out and, go up to Hamburger Hill, okay, and do what you got to do. Maybe you're not ready to fly an F-16 or even a supply truck for that matter. I'm just saying, People in the military should be people that are very comfortable with themselves, very masculine, very type A. That's why they have that rank structures, because most people in the military are big type A's. And it all has to be like that. And what we were doing was we were literally having people who were not cut out for that kind of service joining because they were catering to people who did not necessarily qualify for that kind of service in the service. Doesn't make sense. Yes, Junior, I agree. There is validity to both sides of that argument, that you're born what you are, and some people are not completely discernible down there. Other people feel that they were born with the wrong parts. I don't have enough data, nor do I have enough expertise to say they're right or wrong. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's gender dysphoria. Okay? However, I think that's a distinct possibility in a lot of these cases. Most people that get the gender correction surgery regret it. As a matter of fact, transgenders are one of the largest populations right now that need mental illness, mental help with mental illness. Transgenders have become the #1 shooters when it comes to mass casualty things, when it comes to shoot-ups. They're doing the shootings. Guys, they've done the last, God knows. This very last one, I don't think was. But the 4 or 5 or 6 before that in a row, dude. So yeah. All right, Dominic, have a good one, buddy. All I want is, if you want to go experiment with your life and your sex and your balls, go do it. Just don't do it in my military. My military needs to be ready to fight. They need to be 100% on their game. And when generals walk in with lipstick on, it fucks things up for everybody. And we can't do that. We can't let the world see us as anything other than strong and powerful. That's why he changed the name to the Department of War, which is what it was originally called. And the reason he changed the name is because he wants to be known around the world as the place that don't put up with nobody's bullshit. Not the place that has generals walking around in skirts with lipstick on. He wants us to be known as the no-nonsense military, not the complete nonsense military, which is where we were headed. Junior, that's my point. If they're this confused about their own sex, go get that straightened out first and then come back. You can join up to 32 or something. I mean, it's logic. Yeah. It's a long discussion, and we're not going to solve it tonight. All I'm saying is, I think Hegseth's speech was great today. Trump's was good. He was a little more Trump than I prefer today. A little more rambly than I prefer today. But I still love the guy, and his speech was fine. Steve, we were the best. I still believe we are the best, but only because of these corrections that are being made right now. We were on the road to mediocrity when it comes to militaries. And let me tell you, a mediocre military gets you nowhere. We need to be the strongest military in the world. Regardless of how you feel politically or whatever else, we need a strong military here so that we don't ever have to fight in our own streets. It's that important. All right, guys, that's about all I have. I'm spinning up here. I don't know what's going on or why it's not working. I got something weird going on with this computer tonight. I don't know. It's kind of that now. Nothing's working. It's like locking up. All right, guys, I'm gonna go while I still can go of my own free will. I'm having some issues tonight. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it. All right, guys. On behalf of my co-host here, Shadow Lynn, and myself, Ian, this is Starship Adventures live from Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. This has been the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we will be back tomorrow night for probably a little longer edition than tonight. Although I did get it, an hour and a half in anyway. But I'll probably do the 2 tomorrow night. And then we're going to go work our way all the way through the week here, and then through to the Friday night show. And then I do have some stuff going on this weekend, but I'm going to see. I'm trying to put something together for this weekend. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, everybody have a good one out there. We'll see you next time right here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures. Have a good night, everybody. 7 threes, and have a safe tomorrow.